I'm going to sit here and tell you something that you might not want to hear. If you are in a position where you wake up in the morning and you don't like where you are in your life, I'm here to tell you something. Aware of it or not, ownership over it or not, you are completely 100% responsible for where you are. You see, I think what ends up happening is that we forget about this notion. This notion is this: if you don't stand for something, then you fall for anything. And many of us go through our lives thinking that exact same stuff. And with that comes conditions. And that condition becomes a paradigm in our head. And that paradigm begins to move with us each and every single year of our life. You see, then we take these paradigms and we say that, oh, I have this circumstance and it's just how I've always been. I'm not good at that thing. Or you know what? People like me don't win in situations like that. And whatever these artificial or fake beliefs that we stand for, they continue to move in our mind, and believe it or not, they begin to manifest. And it's funny because you don't even recognize how much that is limiting you. You see, we were told by someone named Tom Bilyeu that humans are the ultimate adaptation machine. And what does that mean? It means that you do not have to settle for the circumstances of where your life may be in the current. Meaning that if you're in an actual position where you say, hey, listen, I have always been really bad at math, or I've always been the person who is not charismatic at dancing, or I have not been good at sales, you can understand and take ownership over that, but not letting that circumstance define you. And taking ownership over it empowers you to actually do something, because now you can go out and get skills and you can perfect those skills, and those skills are going to give you utility, and then you are going to be able to sell. You are going to be able to be competent in mathematics, and you're going to be able to go out and circumnavigate the situations. And why is that happening? Because it is available to you. Greatness, the things and the answers to the questions that you have about why you're playing small in life are available to you. And it is not because of that outside circumstance of not having enough money, or because of how your parents raised you, or because of some unfavorable circumstance. No, what I'm here to tell you is that it's you. Whether you want to accept ownership over it or not, it is you. And you're going to be the beneficiary of whatever consequence, good or bad, of your life tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after. And so if you're in a position right now where you have not made the clear, conscientious decision to take ownership over everything that's going to end up happening, then what's going to happen is that you're going to be that person that's going to be a lost feather flying through the wind at the mercy of whatever the weather dictates. And 99% of the time, you're not going to like it, because you're going to stand for the values of someone else, or do the things that the world tells you or declares of you, and you're going to let someone else declare what your value is. And the reality is, I'm here to tell you that all those things only exist, they only are real because you made a aware or unaware decision that they matter. But when you live with intention and when you accept ownership over the decisions, you see, now you can choose to stand for the values. Now you can choose to say exactly what it is that you want to arise and ascend to. And yes, you have to accept the ownership. And I'm not telling you to completely discount where you're at. You might not be fast enough. You might not be smart enough. You might not have the skill. But because you're willing to change the circumstance of what your future is going to look like, you're now empowered to go out there, get the skill, do the things, and do the fucking work. And when you do that work, you're going to be able to finally witness change, because one of two things is going to happen. You're going to get some form of feedback, and either you're going to fall on your face and you're going to be that much closer to learning, because now you're going to know, holy hell, that thing hurt, but it gave me an immense amount of information. And now if I go back up again and I swing, I'm going to be able to duck and dodge whatever it is, and I'm going to be that much closer to the goal. Or you're going to crush it and you're going to knock it out of the park, and that's going to give you feedback and intuition, and it's going to give you confidence, and it's going to give you validation, it's going to give you efficacy. And when you go out with that efficacy, you're going to be able to go out there and sling and fight again. So my question to you is just this: are you willing to settle? Are you willing to settle for the decisions and for the expectations that somebody else has for your life? Are you willing to settle for how things always have been that will now be the path and the constructs for how your life will be lived? Or right here, right now, by intention and by design, will you be the architect of your new life and begin the process of doing the difficult and hard work.